Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online doubles ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today we are trying out a brand new hard trick room team. This team was created by Angel Miranda, who you may remember from the first team that we used, as well as Alex Underhill. They're two really great VGC players. I'll link their Twitters in the description below, as well as an image for this team. It is a rental team, as you can clearly see, so if you want to try it out yourself, please feel free to do so. I think the next team I feature on Road to Rank will be a team that I'll have built myself, but until then, I wanted to cycle through a bunch of these rental teams because a lot of cool teams already exist online, and I wanted to jump into online play as quickly as possible to get a good understanding of the metagame, understanding of doubles in general, and just what competitive play in Sword and Shield would look like. So, haven't featured Trick Room as an archetype yet, and I figured this would be a great time to do so. Like I mentioned, this is a hard Trick Room team. It's not one of those hybrid Trick Room teams where you don't necessarily need to get Trick Room up. In this team, you pretty much always want to get it up. And it utilizes the Hatterene Indeedee combination that we've seen a bunch of. That's probably the most common combination you'll see early metagame for Trick Room teams because it almost always allows you to set up Trick Room. There are a couple of counters to it, which is why Kafagrigas is also used as a Trick Room user here. And with hard Trick Room teams, like you don't typically want to rely on just one Trick Room Pokemon. So, you know, the role of this team is really, okay, lead Indeedee, Hatterene or Indeedee, Kafagrigas, set up Trick Room, and then bring in a Trick Room sweeper of Indeedee feints, such as Torkoal, Torkoal, or Mudsdale. Probably Dynamax, one of the two Pokemon that you have out immediately on the first turn of Trick Room, and then just start sweeping in those couple of turns. So, excited to try it out. I think Trick Room is definitely going to be a very strong archetype in this format, especially because they're definitely, I think, more viable Trick Room users than, say, Tailwind users, for example. And there's a lot of really slow, strong, bulky Pokemon in this format. So, excited to try it out. I'm a player who likes to have, like, hybrid Trick Room on the team typically, but I think hard Trick Room will give us understanding of how to really play it and set it up well. So, yeah. Looking forward to it. If you guys enjoy, as always, please share support by leaving a like on the episode. I'd really appreciate it. And now that it's December, we should be getting VGC 2020 rules relatively soon. I've obviously only been doing Road to Ranked as content for this channel in the last 2 weeks or so, but as soon as 2020 rules come out, there are a bunch of guides that you guys can expect, including a team building guide, early meta impression guide for VGC 2020, general introduction to VGC and how to get into competitive play, whether it be online or local play, and a guide covering all the top resources you should have bookmarked for VGC 2020. So all those will be coming out as soon as the rules are released. I just don't want to release it before the rules are out because I think the rules will be a pretty significant part of a lot of those videos, obviously. So yeah, obviously, thanks to everyone who's been watching Road to Ranked for the last 2 weeks or so. It's been an absolute blast, and it's awesome seeing so many people continue to come out and watch these videos. I hope they've been entertaining and educational, and I know I've been learning a lot myself in this metagame. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get this episode started. Alright, we're going to find our first opponent of the day, ranked right above us actually. Currently just out of the 100s after the loss yesterday, and a bunch of players jumping ahead of us. So let's see what my opponent is rocking. Definitely not a Trick Room team on the opposing side. It's a Tailwind potential team. Como is really interesting. There's also the Indeedee, Rotom, Excadrill, Whimsicott, and the Galarian Darmanitan. So let's see, I really do like Torkoal in this match. I mean, Eruption just does so much damage to everything. Even the Pokemon that resist it don't take it attacks super well from it. So, obviously the goal is to set up Trick Room, and I think Hatterene and Indeedee is okay here. Yeah, because I have the Sash, you can Dynamax something, but that should be okay. The great thing, too, is that with Psychic Terrain, the Whimsicott can't taunt or Encore us, even after Indeedee faints. So let's just go with the Indeedee Hatterene combo. I will say as the meta develops, I think people will have harder counters to Trick Room, but right now I do think it's just still a really strong option against so many Pokemon and teams. In the back, I'm thinking just Torkoal and Conkeldurr. They just provide so much offense here for me. Conkeldurr covers everything that Torkoal isn't hitting in the Rotom and the Como. Those are the only two Pokemon that resist Fire-type attacks. Mudsdale, I don't think I need as much here, especially because I'm going to want answers to the Rotom. So, yeah, let's go with this. I feel comfortable enough with this. I was thinking about Kafagrigas, but don't really think that really provides too much for me. So, yeah, excited to try out our first game with this hard Trick Room team. I know Stadium Park, who is the 2014 World Champion, has been streaming on Twitch. I'll actually link his Twitch in the description below if you guys want to give him a follow. He's been one of the most active streamers on Twitch for VGC. Or just for Sword and Shield, and he's been using like a Trick Room hybrid team with like yeah, I think that one is like Reuniclus, Togekiss, I think Indeedee, Rhyperior, so a bunch of cool stuff. And it's actually the Darmanitan and the Excadrill. It's actually Mold Breaker Excadrill as well. Okay, So the only way my opponent counters Trick Room here is if he goes for a flinch onto the Hatterene. I think otherwise I'm safe to actually just go for Follow Me and Trick Room. But this is the scary thing about this combination. Flinch is, like, honestly not a bad counter. But I think I just have to hope that I don't get flinched here. And if we don't, we're actually in a really good spot. So, yeah. No Dynamax comes out from my opponent, which is not too surprising to see. And there's the Rock Slide. Oh, he's probably just going to double Rock Slide and hope for a flinch. Yikes. Yep, that's what he's going for. Alright, let's see if Hatterene gets it off. It's Life Orb. Nice. Alright, first time with this team, we do not get flinch. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I do want the switch into Torkoal if I can. But I'm thinking maybe here I just go for a Helping Hand and Psychic into the Darmanitan. I don't care if I lose both Pokemon this turn because it means I get the switch into Torkoal. Okay, we're going to see a switch, but anything coming in will take some heavy damage. Indeedee, okay. Good switch in. But, yeah, I want my Pokemon to faint here. I mean, I could have protected my Hatterene. Actually has the Excadrill Protect, so it's going to be kind of awkward. We're only going to have 2 turns of Trick Room probably with Torkoal out. As Psychic comes out. That does so much damage, jeez. Boosted by Life Orb and Psychic Terrain. Okay, I'm gonna Helping Hand here and Dazzling Gleam, I think. Yeah, this is the awkward spot where it's like I have Indeedee in, so I'd actually prefer to just switch out into Torkoal. But I don't want it to take an Earthquake, obviously. So, yeah, let's just Helping Hand and Dazzling here. That will get the knockout onto my opponent's Indeedee. Should chunk the Excadrill as well. Okay. Yeah, there's Follow Me. That's fine. Like, yeah, the awkward part about Indeedee hanging around is, like, it doesn't really do too much. I'd rather have it faint turn 1, but my opponent's best strategy was clearly just double Rock Slide immediately. But now I have 2 turns of Trick Room left with Torkoal and Conkeldurr out. You'll be able to knock out as he just goes for a Rock Slide. Okay, yeah, so double knockout there. But now I get Torkoal and Conkeldurr, and I can Dynamax, I think probably Conkeldurr in this case. And go for Max Knuckles. Yeah. I don't actually know if I want to Dynamax. Dynamaxing early could help, though. Yeah. I think I could have maybe played better last turn by just hard switching my Indeedee out, but I was hoping to get it like knocked out last turn. I thought the Excadrill would just attack there, but it was actually good on my opponent's end to not go for that. So, okay, Rotom comes out. Yeah. So my opponent's just in an awkward spot right now. I think I'll go for Eruption here, definitely, and probably Dynamax Conkeldurr, I'm thinking. Raise Max, ooh, raising special attack with Max Ooze could actually be kind of fun. The other thing is, if that is choiced Darmanitan in the back, which I kind of expect it to be, it might actually be better to Dynamax Torkoal here, just try to get the knockout with Max Flare through Protect. Because then if Darmanitan is choiced, which I think it will be, we'll be able to utilize the last turn of Trick Room as well as possible. So let's actually go for that. And Close Combat the Rotom. Yeah, because Torkoal can actually sweep through my opponent's team with Max Overgrowth as well. So I actually like Dynamaxing Torkoal more here. And I'm trying to take advantage of the mechanic where you can do damage even through Protect. Although, I guess my opponent could Dynamax Excadrill, but that seems kind of odd. The downside is Rotom can Dynamax and go for a Water-type attack here. And I guess I actually should have taken that into consideration a little bit more. For that reason, maybe it actually would have been better to double up into Rotom here. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think that might have been the play. Let's see. Yep, there's the Dynamax from Rotom. But after the close combat, I mean, Overgrowth should just knock out Rotom. Assuming Rotom is Dynamaxing. Yeah. And Water, I mean, Max Geyser will not knock me out through Sun being up. But maybe it would have been better to double to Rotom. I don't know. Yep, there's the Protect on Excadrill. We should still knock out through Protect, I think. I hope so. Max Flare comes out, and it gets the KO. Good. Yeah, so next turn is the last in our Trick Room. We will be able to go first. Let's see how much Close Combat does. Oh, that's really good damage. After Guts, we should just be able to knock that out. And there's Max Geyser, but we should live that with Sun being up. Oh, easily. Yeah, okay. Nice. Okay, so that's great. Ooh, well, this is going to be interesting. So it's the last in our Trick Room. Darmanitan comes out. I think that's probably choiced. Close Combat should knock out either Pokemon here. Wondering if it's better to Overgrowth here. And Close Combat Darmanitan. The thing is, you see, I want to set up the Sun, right? But I don't think Flare will knock out Darmanitan in the rain. I should actually do that calc real quick with Charcoal. I have 25 seconds. Let's see if we can get this in on time. Torkoal, Darmanitan, Galarian, rain is up, Inferno. 14 seconds. Yikes. I think it actually gets the knockout. So I'm just going to Overdrive and Close Combat here. No Protect. So that means we should knock out Rotom here, I think. Nice. Okay, cool. Got that calc in on time. This is Charcoal Torkoal as well, so even with rain being up, it just demolishes Darmanitan. Nice. And Close Combat here, I think, should knock out. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, Guts Conkeldurr proving its worth there. Rotom, typically built physically, bulky, but still, even with that, Conkeldurr just two-shots it after the Guts, so nice. Yeah, I mean, this game was one of those where I think if my opponent just gets the flinch turn one, I probably lose the game. So that is one of the ways you can go for the counter against the 9 Trick Room, which is scary. I think if I get flinch there, I just lose the game instantly. So, yeah, I mean, that's where... No, I'm not sure there's a better lead for me there. I just have to hope I don't get flinched, which is, right, one of the downsides of using hard Trick Room. You do have to watch out for positions like that, which is not always ideal. We jump 40 rankings up there, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, otherwise I'm like relatively content with how I played. I think the first turn of Trick Room, Helping Hand Psychic was fine. Helping Hand Dazzle was good. I do think Torkoal was probably the better Pokemon to Dynamax there, so I am glad I ended up Dynamaxing it there. Basically with Trick Room, I think that actually shows a really cool feature of Dynamax, right? With Trick Room, you really want to get knockouts as quickly as possible, and I wasted basically, or not wasted, but because I didn't get a free switch into Torkoal, the problem was that I basically lost the turn of Trick Room where I can just click Eruption. So in that game, to make up for that, basically by going for the Dynamax and assuming Darmanitan was Choice Scarf, which normally it's Scarfed or Band-Aid, we were able to really make use out of the last 2 turns of Trick Room. So worked out decently here. Second team of the day, pretty interesting stuff here. There is a Savali, which I've not played against yet in this metagame. There's also a Hawlucha, so that's often paired with the, not the Indeedee, yeah, the Indeedee. So you get the Psychic Terrain, you have Psychic Seed, it has Unburden, and then you're going to be basically the fastest Pokemon out. Once again, I don't really see a great counter to Trick Room here on my opponent's end, though. I'm not sure I really need Cofagrigus. Just checking its set. Yeah, I don't think Shadow Ball, I mean, Will-O-Wisp burns are okay, but it's not like I can even burn the Arcanine. It doesn't really help against Rotom, so I think I just go Hatterene Indeedee again, honestly. And, you know, Torkoal is definitely one of those, like, Pokemon that are stronger in early metagames. If you remember in 2017, like, Lilligant Torkoal was, like, one of the first teams I used, and back then it was really good. You know, people find counters to it as metagames become more developed, but Hard Trick Room is always just really good early meta. So I'm going to go Torkoal. I think Conkeldurr is still fine. I mean, Mudsdale is actually not too bad for us here because of its matchup against Arcanine specifically, but I think overall Conkeldurr just hits harder against everything. So, yeah. Funny to see all teams so far having an Indeedee, mine and my opponents included. So, yeah, we're going to go with the same 4 Pokemon. I think that's probably the most standard mode with this team where, like, Copper Gigas is better as a Trick Room user if they have a Duraludon, because Duraludon will counter you by going for follow if you try to go for follow me. And without the Steel Resist Berry on this Hatterene, it will just faint. If like Duraludon Dynamaxes and goes for Max Steel Spike, so yeah. Whereas Copper I keep botching the pronunciation of it, but the Mummy, I'm gonna call it the Mummy. The Mummy can obviously doesn't have to worry as much about that. So it's gonna be Arcanine and Indeedee. Okay. I don't really see how my opponent stops Trick Room here. Although I think Indeedee gets Trick Room itself. I'm just double checking that. And if it does, you can actually just... Oops, sorry for that really loud noise. If it does, you can just reverse my Trick Room. But I think I'll still follow me. And Trick Room. Here, even if I don't get Trick Room up the first turn, it's not the end of the world, I guess. Indeedee really could have Trick Room. I mean, it's not like my opponent's team is that slow, though. I also could just double Protect turn 1. I kind of don't mind that, actually. I want to scout for what my opponent's going to go for. It might be a Dynamax early on, and yeah, Arcanine's Dynamaxing. But the thing is, Indeedee shouldn't have a way to really stop my Trick Room. It can't really provide offense, so right now it's just Arcanine providing heavy offense, right? So, like, my Focus Sash being broken here isn't the end of the world, and I do relatively burn a turn of Dynamax for my opponent, so it's not awful. But yeah, I do actually want to see if my opponent led the Indeedee just to specifically counter my Trick Room. If it does have Trick Room, it'll make this game a lot more interesting, because then we're going to be fighting for Trick Room turns. But nope, it just went for Psychic. Okay. And Max Flare, that's fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that, because my opponent's actually committed a turn of Dynamax. And so now I can just go for Follow Me this turn in Trick Room. And my opponent's Indeedee is faster than the Arcanine too. So I don't think it's Trick Room. It doesn't have Trick Room on it. Maybe it does though. I mean here, let's say my opponent does have Trick Room. I Follow Me, it reverses my Trick Room. I lose Indeedee. Oh, he's just Helping Handing. Then that's fine. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna Follow Me. And I think this game I'll actually probably Dynamax my Hatterene. This goes for Max Darkness, that's fine. Yep. Wow, it doesn't even knock me out. That's actually kind of annoying. I wanted the KO there. As my special defense drops. That's okay. Yeah. So, now what I can do this next turn is just go for Follow Me. Arcanine now is slower, which is good because that will attack my Indeedee first then. Wow, Helping Hand Max Darkness didn't even get the knockout. So, let's Follow Me. Let's see. And I think, honestly, I can just... I don't even want to Dynamax this turn, I think. Yeah, because I don't really need the added... I think I can get more mileage by Dynamaxing next turn. Yeah. So let me Follow Me this turn. I'll Psychic the Arcanine, and then next turn I'll be able to bring in my Torkoal. My opponent set up the Sun for me, which is funny. Okay, Arcanine actually protects. This is annoying. Like, I want Indeedee to faint. I can't believe it didn't faint from Helping Hand Max Darkness. Okay. But my opponent's just wasted Dynamax, basically. I hope the Psychic knocks me out. This is Psychic Terrain boosted. It should. Okay, good. Alright, that's ideal. Especially because we didn't Dynamax with our... and it's Life Orb Indeedee, so it's an offensive variant. Interesting. Yeah, especially because my opponent... because I didn't Dynamax, and now I've got 2 full turns of offense. As the Arcanine will revert. The frustrating thing is we wasted 2 turns of Trick Room, which isn't ideal. But it's not the end of the world. How many turns of Sun do we have? We've got only 2, but it's okay. We still have 3 turns of Trick Room, sorry, not 2. Yeah, so this is fine. I'll just Eruption, and... Do I want to Dynamax here, even? Because I think Psychic Eruption probably just knocks out Arcanine. But Dynamaxing Hatterene isn't bad in this matchup at all, yeah. I could see Arcanine swapping out here, though, into... Grimmsnarl. But if Grimmsnarl comes out, what's it really going to do, right? So let's just go Max Mindstorm. Alright, not bad. And both Pokemon are staying in. I mean, that should just be a knockout onto Arcanine. I think... I would assume the Eruption just knocks out Indeedee as well. So, let's see. So far, so good. Yeah, both games, it's weird where it's like we didn't get as much mileage off. Like, if you get the free switch in after Indeedee faints, it's so good. So that's one of the ways you can, like, cause this team some trouble, or just Trick Room teams in general. Is Indeedee helping hands, okay, but I think with the Dynamax, we should just knock out Arcanine. So here's Eruption. That could be, that looks like AV Arcanine, which would make sense because it has a dark type attack. So I don't know if we actually get the knockout here with Max Mindstorm. Let's see. Even if we don't, it's not the end of the world. Oh no, it has a protect, so it can't be AV, yeah. Unless you're an Assault Vest set running, no, I mean you literally can't have, yeah, so never mind. That's perfect for us. So no switch outs there. We still have 2 turns to Trick Room, which is really good, so that's why we didn't want to Dynamax last turn. So now my opponent has to switch in their last 2 Pokemon, and we can do damage even through Protect, which is one of the reasons why hard Trick Room is better now with Dynamax. So it's Savali and Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl can't even fake out right now. These 2 Pokemon aren't exactly super offensive either, so I think we should just have this wrapped up, but let's make sure we play it right. And it's Steel Savali too, which is awesome to see. So let's just click Eruption and Starfall the Grimmsnarl. Yeah. Conkeldurr in the back will be able to 1v1 Savali for sure. So I think we've got this one locked up. Yeah, so, I mean, I played turn 1 where I, like, did not want to just reverse Trick Rooms and let my opponent get a free attack off. I think, like, double protecting there is relatively safe, which is why I went for it, as Savali protects, but that's fine. Yeah. Even if Torkoal Eruption doesn't knock out Grimmsnarl, Hatterene certainly will, so... Yep. And in this game, yeah, I wanted to Dynamax the Hatterene just to provide more damage against both Grimmsnarl, which we ended up seeing, and Arcanine. I think Helping Hand was probably not the play for my opponent last turn, but I'm not sure my opponent really had too many options. It just didn't look like it had a great answer against Hard Trick Room in this matchup. So we'll knock out Grimmsnarl, and next turn we'll have the win. Although we do change the terrain, which is kind of funny. But yeah, this game highlights how dangerous Hard Trick Room can be, right? Like, you can just really sweep through teams if people aren't well prepared for it, and if there aren't, like, hard counters to it. And didn't look like my opponent really had any counters to it. And Torkoal was phenomenal. I mean, the thing about a Torkoal in Sun with Charcoal is, like, even against Pokemon that resist it, you're still doing, like, 50%. Against anything that doesn't resist it, it's probably just getting the knockout, which is kind of crazy. So, yeah, we can just double up here, and that'll be game. See, does it go for a double? It does go for a double. Okay, prolonging it a little bit, but that's okay. I'll probably try to play a third game with this team, too, since these games have been relatively fast so far. That's the thing with Hard Trick Room. After the 4 turns, like, one player will probably have been won by that point, so... once again, it's like a relatively straightforward strategy, but it's still fun and, you know, to execute and play with. So, yep, Hatterene did more than enough this game. Perfect. Dynamax helped out a lot. I think... Yeah, once Trick Room went up, I'm not sure my opponent really had any answers, honestly. There wasn't really much they could have done. So, just Eruption Trick Room here. Conkeldurr in the back will finish it off. It's going to be a multi-attack on to Hatterene, and that does get the knockout, so that's why you run Steel-type Savali. But Eruption here should just finish off the game. Single target. Not boosted by Sun anymore, but we still have Charcoal and full HP, and there's the knockout. So, nice. Relatively straightforward game this time around, I think. Nothing too crazy going on here. Just had to worry about potential Trick Room. Yeah, you know, I think one way around this is maybe if my opponent leads Grimmsnarl, you can at least set up a screen. Light Screen could have helped out a bunch, but ultimately, yeah, just no hard answers to Trick Room here for my opponent's team meant that it was a relatively straightforward game. So, yeah, let's look for our next opponent today. Alright, gonna find our third opponent of the day. We're currently just under the top 50, so win here would propel us in there, but we are up against a pretty high-ranked opponent ourselves, so let's see if we can end up with 3 wins in a row with our first time with this team. Wow, that is a cool team. Noivern and Butterfree, and Raichu. Definitely not, like, what the standard meta is currently based off what we've seen. This is scary because in these kind of situations, you just, like, never know what's coming from the more obscure Pokemon. Yeah, let's see. Like, Coffer could actually be okay here. I mean, Hatterene Indeedee is still good, though, right? I set up Psychic Terrain, so you can't fake out me. With Yeah, I feel like that's alright. Worried about Butterfree, I guess. It's probably just going to put me to sleep, but that's okay. Torkoal for sure. As boring as it is, Conkeldurr might still just be the best last one. Just double checking the Mudsdale here. It's AV. Does have Rock Slide, Heavy Slam. I think Conkeldurr is still just better. This one also has Thunder Punch, so I can just knock out the Gyarados. Close combat will one-shot things. Mudsdale's like a little bit more tempting in this one. But I think close combat just does so much damage. Like, the thing with this team is with Torkoal, with Eruption, and with Conkeldurr, with Guts and Flame Orb, like, man, you really just destroy things, even things that resist you. You don't even have to worry about that much about things that resist. So, yeah. Let's see how this plays out. A lot of cool Pokemon on my opponent's team for sure. Including Noivern is one that was like kind of used in VGC 2014, but doesn't really see much use. And Butterfree Noivern is actually really cool. I was kind of considering leading the Torkoal and the Indeedee. I mean, so let's see what this lead does. I just like need to double check what these Pokemon do. It's been so long since I've really played against them. I mean, Noivern was typically used like Draco Meteor, Tailwind, like U-Turn, Taunt, Roost. I'm just like checking their abilities to make sure I'm not forgetting anything blatantly obvious, but yeah. Don't think it can really threaten me too much here. It's probably Compoundized Butterfree, right? So, kinda wanna just follow me in Trick Room. Seems okay. And there's a Dynamax coming out, okay. Ideally, my opponent just doubles up and knocks me out. If this is like Dynamax Butterfree, that would be great. But it's Dynamax Noivern, that makes sense. Yeah, the awkward thing here is if you do put me to sleep. Maybe I didn't even need to follow me, actually. I think surely they don't knock me out here. There's going to be a Max Wormwood coming up, but I'd assume a Sleep Powder from Butterfree. Doesn't mean we get Trick Room up, though, which is good. Yeah, I'm sure it's Sash Butterfree, which makes the whole, like... And it's Life Orb Noivern, interesting. Yep, there's Sleep Powder. I mean, I didn't really have excellent counterplay to that, I think. This is awkward, though, because I think my opponent doesn't want to knock out the Indeedee here. So, I have to make a big decision here, because I could hard switch Indeedee into Torkoal. But I'm assuming that's a special attack Max Wormwind. So the question here is, does my opponent try to knock out Indeedee, or do you double up into Hatterene? You also can protect the Noivern and just Sleep Powder Hatterene with Butterfree. So, is it worth switching out here? Because if... I guess I could wake up technically the next turn. Like, I'm leaning towards the fact that I think my opponent will try to knock out Indeedee. I just don't want to switch in Torkoal and a Max Wormwind. That would be really bad. Alternatively, I can Dynamax Hatterene. This also could work, I guess. Switch out into Torkoal. I actually... no, I don't like that. I was thinking switch into Torkoal and just knock out Noivern. I'm just going to protect here. I feel like if you're the Noivern player, you don't want... yeah, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know how I feel about that switch. I think my opponent probably targets that slot with... Like, Noivern protecting here would be ideal. So, because I easily could have protected Hatterene here and let Indeedee stay in. Wow, what? That's a crazy good read on my opponent's end. Jeez. And the Airstream into Hatterene. Wow. That's a really risky play, but it paid off for my opponent. Dang. Huh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, that was really well played by my opponent. That's like, yeah, I certainly was not expecting that, that's for sure. A Dynamax here. I need to maybe set up a second Trick Room this game. But that's going to be really hard because I haven't taken any turns of sleep. I think that last play might have just won my opponent the game, honestly. That was a really great play. If I were to Dynamax, I would Dynamax and go for Starfall, I guess, into Noivern. Although I guess Noivern shouldn't do too much damage to me. Oh! I messed up so badly. I could have set up Misty Terrain last turn. Wow, that was actually... I totally forgot about that. That's my bad. Yeah, that shows my unfamiliarity with the team. All I needed to do was just Dynamax, go for the Fairy type attack, and bring out Torkoal. That was by far the best play on my end, so that was a major misplay. Good to learn that now, but frustrating, because that was such a clear-cut play. Like, I didn't need to even play any guessing games there. And actually, I might have messed up here, because I think Noivern might protect here, and Sleep Powder will go into Hatterene, so it's probably better to target Butterfree. But no protect, okay. That was so bad. Such a bad misplay. I totally forgot about the side effect of setting up Misty Terrain. I'm really angry at myself for that one. Because if we just set up the terrain and Torkoal comes in here, we're just in such a good spot. It's still not the end of the world for us, especially if Torkoal takes a one-turn sleep. But, yeah, with Trick Room, with this team, you need to utilize every turn perfectly. And I did not do that, which is frustrating for me. It actually opts for a Hurricane, okay. So, yeah, maybe expecting the Starfall this turn. That's why I was surprised my opponent even went... Not only did he go for it, but it went for the Indeedee switch out. I mean, I guess the Indeedee switching out there is relatively obvious, and that play actually covers your options. Although if I just click, like, Dazzling Gleam with Hatterene there and stay in with Indeedee, my opponent's in an awkward spot. But, yeah, that was a really good read. Either way, the turn, not this turn, but last turn was to have switched out, and I'm annoyed at myself for not doing it. But, okay. So, Excadrill comes out. There's 2 turns of Trick Room left, I believe. Yep. I mean, if we get a 1-turn Wake Up with Torkoal, the game is over still. So, even despite the misplay, it's not the end of the world, but... Gonna need to get a little bit lucky here today, I think, folks. That Excadrill should not be sashed. So, I'll Starfall the Butterfree. Yeah, if we wake up with Torkoal here, the game is over. If we don't, I think we still have a chance going into next turn. I'm gonna bring Butterfree down to its sash here. Torkoal stays asleep. Okay, if it wakes up next turn, we're still in this. We need to not... I mean, it might get doubled up here, so we'll see. Wish I had Mystic Fire here, because I would have just Mystic Fired the Excadrill. But, man, this is where you see, like, all I needed was Torkoal not to fall asleep this game, and my opponent made a really, really good read as Hurricane into the Torkoal. So might be a double up into that slot, yeah. Interesting, okay. I think Hatterene survives this. Yeah. Okay. If that's a Salt Vest Excadrill, then we can actually just get a double knockout this turn. I'm so angry at myself for forgetting about Misty Terrain, though. That's just... I think if we set that up, we would have just won for sure. So we have a pretty good matchup here. That was just a bad mistake on my end. But nothing on my opponent's team resists this close combat other than Gyarados. If Gyarados comes in, we can Thunder Punch it. So, yeah, let's just Starfall close combat. Comes out of what my opponent's last Pokemon is. If Excadrill also has Protect here, which it probably does, I think we've lost. But, yeah, I think if I just went for the Starfall... Yeah, it switches out. Is Gyarados coming in? Maybe I should have predicted that. Actually, man, if I just, Starfall's, I don't think knocking out Gyarados. If I just went for the Mind Stream, I would have knocked out the Gyarados, and I think I would have won the game from there. Unless this KOs. Oh my gosh! Okay, Hatterene is so clutch. What the heck? What? Wow, okay. Yeah, I mean, I went for that because I didn't want to reset the terrain so that Butterfree could Sleep Powder me. But... yeah, that worked out perfectly. Had my opponent actually not Rage Powdered, I would have lost the game, I think. Now we should win. I'm just going to protect, or switch out, and protect this turn. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a Salt Vest Excadrill. We didn't see a Life Orb, and it's not sashed, obviously, because Butterfree has the sash. Wow, this was crazy. Hatterene Dynamax with Life Orb is so strong. Jeez. So basically I'm protecting here. I guess I lose if it's Swords Dance Excadrill. Maybe it would have been better just to stay in an attack here, honestly. Because of Swords Dance being a threat. If it has Swords Dance, I'm going to cry. But I feel like the fact that it switched out there means it doesn't have Protect. Which means I think it's Assault Vested. We'll see. Oh, no, man. I'm dumb. Well, I think I should have just clicked Trick Room there because it covers for the Swords Dance option. That was actually not the best play on my end. Yeah, because the Trick Room covers its Swords Dancing and wins us the game. So I actually went for maybe the worst play. But if Extra just EQs here, then I think we're good. And that's the most likely play. Yeah, okay. But still, like, in these situations, you want to, like, find the, like, craziest scenario where you can lose and still counter it. And a scenario where Excadrill had Swords Dance certainly exists, I think. Just double checking against Swords Dance. I'm not crazy, right? Like, yeah, it does. I mean, my deduction here is that, okay, like, I'm at -1 defense. I don't want to get crit now, even by bringing in Conkeldurr. I should be good. Even a crit shouldn't knock me out. You're not Sash, so I can just close combat and Trick Room here. Yeah, I didn't want to get, like, crit EQ with the defense drop. Now even a crit should not knock me out. And close combat should knock out in return. Maybe. I mean, close combat definitely knocks out Excadrill, right? Unless it's Choppleberry. Okay, nice. I was thinking, like, maybe I actually protect there to get the Guts Burn to guarantee the knockout, but I was like, there's no world in which Excadrill survives a close combat from Conkeldurr, right? But I guess, yeah, if it has Choppleberry, then that's the one world that exists. That was crazy. I thought I lost, honestly. I botched that really hard by not Max Star falling, but because you can just see the strength of Trick Room, even though we didn't even wake up with the Torkoal, like, my opponent didn't have that much offense, and the Hatterene was able to just sweep through everything, which was awesome. So, yeah, what a great way to start off this episode, or start off this team, honestly. I wonder where that actually puts us in the rankings, so I just want to quickly check. Either way, though, thank you guys for watching. This was a really fun one. Happy to, use this hard Trick Room team and get a bunch of wins on the board with it. Like I said, a little bit more one-dimensional, but it works because so few people have hard counters to it. I was expecting to really get flinched in that first game, but we were able to avoid it. So that puts us at 42nd. Nice. So if we could jump into, like, top 25 with this team, that would be awesome. I am new with it, so I expect to take some L's, and definitely, as we get high up on the ladder, I think people will have better counters to hard Trick Room, but pretty happy to end on that note. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you did enjoy, please show support by leaving a like. Thanks to Angel and Alex for building this team, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, peace.